This week, Digital Homicide commits brand suicide again. And don't think we won't find you in HypnoSpace Outlaw. Mother Russia may bleed, but is it a matter of murder or just Edmund McMillan's new game getting a name? If that last part didn't quite make sense, it means you're listening to episode 106 of the Indie Game Riot. Indie Game Riot!
This week on Indie Game Riot, I am Josh, of course, joined by Tech.
Hello.
And also this week on Indie Game Riot, it's episode 106.
Yes.
And also this week on Indie Game Riot, we're talking about indie games. Surprise, surprise.
And also this week on Indie Game Riot, we're down another person, just like last week.
That's kind of a normal, like, I feel like this has become a two, like, every time there's three people, like, one of you counts as a guest now. Like, this one seems like...
Yeah,
Jeez.
really.
All right. Well, yeah, Rev is not here, unfortunately. I actually don't know exactly why. I'm just assuming it's work. He just tweeted, like, sorry, guys, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah, okay. I believe him. Yeah.
So, it's probably work because fuck his job.
Yep.
Right in the ass. Like,
oh, well.
Big, giant purple dildo.
Yeah.
You hear that, Rev's
probably...
boss?
Yeah. Yeah, while you're drinking fine scotch and laughing about the 99%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keeping us under your big white old man thumb.
Yeah, totally.
So that's how this USA America.
So we don't know why he was gone.
Yeah.
I was sick. I was having some pretty bad vertigo because of an ear infection. I also
what a pussy.
Yeah. Oh my god. I went to the doctor because I've been having trouble hearing out of my right ear again. This was a problem that I had 4 years ago. Went to the same doctor that I did when I did that again. Same problem. I got fluid in my eardrum. It won't hurt me, but it is the most frustrating and annoying thing in the world.
Like, was it painful or was it just...
No, it was not painful.
Like,
well,
you couldn't just sit straight up and you had to, like, lay down.
Oh, I couldn't even lay down. The world was going like this. Yeah, it was weird. But
I don't know. I like that.
Before I had that issue, I went to the doctor because it was just bothering me beforehand, and I had probably the worst medical test done on me. It was horrible. It was the worst.
A lobotomy?
No, they stuck that I've had happen to me consciously.
Okay. Consciously?
Yeah.
What kind of life do you live? Did you have your kidney stolen?
No, I've had to be put under. They've stuck cameras down my stomach and stuff.
I see what you mean. Okay.
But this time I got a camera stuffed up my nose. You know, have you ever had one of those pains where you felt it burnt and it hurt? And I had never felt those parts of my body before. And there are parts of your body that you never think of feeling.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden when you hurt in a place that you didn't even really knew it existed inside. Oh yeah. Like it felt like it was like it's only going to go in like an inch and a half, and it felt like the whole like foot and a half of this thing was like in and down my throat.
And it was like
yeah, and it's like, and he's like, breathe through your nose, and like because it hurts so bad and it tastes horrible.
I can tell you, I can like, it hasn't happened to you, but I can tell you a procedure that would one up that.
Oh, I know.
A friend of mine, I'm not going to say who, but a friend of mine has, apparently it's really common, like 1 in 3 guys, I think, have these, like, I guess just like a cyst, like right on top of their tailbone.
Oh, God.
And the only way, first of all, it's like, it's not really curable. They can try and get rid of it, and it's like a 50-50 that it'll come back. And the only way to do that is to give like a little bit of local anesthesia, and then basically take a really sharp melon baller and scoop it out while you're awake. So that's a good thought for this show.
I'm just making a weird face. I guess you can't really see it because I'm like looking at my keyboard. Oh, yeah, that's pretty bad.
Apparently, like I know another guy who's like a friend of the friend, that had the same thing, had it done, and it was like the most excruciating experience of his life, apparently.
Wow.
Like, they even had him bite down on shit. And you know it's going to hurt, too, when if you ask...
When the doctor's
like, this is going to hurt.
It's like, all right, we gave you the local anesthetic. Here's 2 shots of whiskey and a rag.
Yeah. There's a stick to bite on. He just pulled off his belt. Here you go. So,
man.
It could be worse, is what I'm trying to say. Although with the like the dizziness, like that feeling, I don't know if you ever got. Tell me if it's like completely different. But I don't know if you ever got the feeling like when you lay down that you're kind of like on a ship. Did you ever get that feeling when you lay down?
It's not like I'm on a ship. Sometimes I feel like I'm falling backwards, like into myself. I don't really feel like I'm on a
that
ship.
That sounds like you're high.
Yeah, no,
dude,
it's
man,
not fun.
I'm falling backwards
the best way that I can describe it feeling is I felt like I was drunk, but I wasn't like mentally impaired at all. It was just my body was like, hey man, things aren't right. And I'm like, I can tell I'm falling.
Actually, I compared you to, I still can't remember her name, but you know Arrested Development?
Vaguely.
There's the one character that like fucks the one son.
Okay.
She lives across the hallway, but anyway, she has vertigo too. I compared you to that. If anyone knows Arrested Development knows what I'm talking about. Otherwise, you're just like, I don't fucking. It's not funny.
Anyway, but that was horrible. No, don't ever have problems with your ear, nose, or throat because the doctors are great. The procedures aren't. And so I've been taking Flonase every day, and I can actually hear again, and it's blowing my mind because it's been a problem for months. And then other than that, Jesse's been working on the comic a lot. If you go to catarina.tumblr.com, or you search Catarina on Tapastic now, which is a site, we're almost done with the first episode.
Woo.
And it's like it's really cool because we've been doing this for 3 weeks now. We have 9 pages that are each. I did the math earlier this week. I was like, okay, how many square inches do we have of comic? And I'm like, we have 100 square feet. So if we printed these out in full size, it would be 10 feet by 10 feet of comics. It's digital, so it's not the same. But
I'm excited because being here, reading it from the beginning, and even before that, to be honest, because of the stuff you told me beforehand.
Yeah.
I get to watch it evolve because if you ever go, if you have a favorite webcomic, there's always an archive. And if you go way back to the very first comic, it looks totally different from the most recent when it's been like a year or two or even more. And now by no means am I saying it bad. I actually think it's really good, but it always, no matter what, it's going to evolve.
Changes. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm excited to see that evolution firsthand now.
Well, the really cool thing is that the story that we actually had here, and this is really cool. I know this is making the starting part of this kind of long, but this actually goes into like the creative. Exactly. This fills in the sort of like creative process too, because this idea was an idea that we've had for months, really, like a year, if not more, and it's finally turned into like what it is now. And before the comic was even released in the first place, we had a bunch of different ideas for the comic sort of laid out, and we sort of had basic storyboards, and then we're like, all right, let's do it, and we started doing the comic. And then as soon as we started doing the comic, we realized we don't know exactly what we're doing, but we're just going to roll with it. And so recently, Jesse and I just took some time out of like working at the comic, and we're like, okay, let's write down a list of things that we want to change and make better in the next section, because we're already sort of locked into a feel and a style for this episode, and we're going to be moving away from that because of the different ways that we're planning things and writing things a little bit differently. But if you take an active approach to bettering the product that you're doing, you're going to make it better and keeping the things that you need to keep in mind. Like one thing that I wrote down on that, the first thing, more windows. Because we haven't drawn windows. Luckily, there is a window.
She lives in a dungeon, actually.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, which is not too far off from where Jesse lives, basically. But the watching the creative process and working with somebody else, and working as a team of creative people it's really cool when we have a page lined up and ready to go, and we're like reading through it, and we're actually like giggling because it's actually kind of funny. And it's even funnier. We read through the entire thing in the voices of the characters, because we sort of have the ideas for the voices of the characters, and it's great. And I really wish had.
It's weird too, because I have voices in my head that are probably completely different from yours. I mean, Clyde might be close because
you know about it. Yeah,
but like the voice I have in my head for Catamarina is not Jesse's voice, even though I'm sure it's like
it's
pretty much Jesse's voice or closer to that.
It's similar. Like some of the talking mannerisms are similar, but like it doesn't. It sounds. It's close.
Yeah. Also, hi, Pedro.
Pedro.
See, you get shout-outs.
Yeah.
When you're in a live chat, so go join that. This is a very laid back episode.
It is a really chill episode, but it's like,
Yeah. Well, my week, since we're moving on,
yes,
is boring. Although you weren't here last week, I don't know if you saw the cage earlier, but we got a guinea pig.
Awesome.
The name is Fluffernutter, because of course it is.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, she got sick. She has a cold or possibly
crap.
pneumonia, because guinea pigs have really sensitive respiratory systems.
And new place makes sense.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing, because I called because it's still within that 14 days. They have like a return policy for 14 days, and I didn't return her because we're attached to her already. She's the most tame, laid back guinea pig that we've ever had. We've had 3 before her, so we really like her. But I called because within that 14 days, I was like, well, they're still not supposed to get sick, so you guys can treat her and get her to a vet instead of me paying however much a vet costs. So yeah, that's what they did. And I was talking to a lady from the store, and she said that it's probably because of that whole new surrounding situation, because not only, I mean, they come from wherever they're born, they get shipped probably a couple times, and then to the store. They get put back in an isolation chamber, and then after a few days, they get put into a new place out on the floor to get sold. And then we actually got her like a week after they got put out. So all that like change of scenery is really stressful to them. Probably lowered the immune system, got her sick easier, that sort of thing. But hopefully she'll get better, because that'd be very sad if not.
Well, I mean, like, they're relatively hardy creatures. I mean, they might get sick easy, but you don't really hear like, oh yeah, guinea pig dies after 4 days of home. I don't know. Maybe it does. I don't know.
Well, you can't, like, I mean,
they're like sheep.
They're easy to take care of.
Yeah, exactly.
It's feed and water them whenever they need it. Hey, they do need
attention.
They do need attention because they're social. We actually want to get her a friend, because no matter how much you might get attached to them, they would still prefer a guinea pig. To be a friend. But they need vitamin C because they don't produce vitamin C themselves, which is another reason they get sick easily. So that is one thing you have to, like, they require a lot of nutrition, like hay, for their digestion, vitamin C stuff, like veggies and fruits and supplements, and then their food and water and bedding. But a lot of the stuff you don't have to get all the time. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
So, like, once you get it, you're set for a while.
I'm wondering if you can use like fruit peels and stuff for
they can eat pretty much almost all fruits and veggies. Some of them have different adverse effects, like some make them gassy, or constipated or diarrhea. Like citrus obviously has a lot of vitamin C, but because it's so acidic, it can give them mouth sores.
Ooh.
So what's actually best for them is dark green stuff, like broccoli has.
Cool.
Broccoli has even more vitamin C than oranges do, and it's a lot better for them. Peppers.
Sucks that broccoli's gross.
It's like peppers that aren't like hot, just like the regular bell peppers.
Yeah, like green peppers.
And then cilantro is really good for them. Or something. Oh, zucchini is really good for them.
Oh.
Yeah.
And but I mean, like, why not eat the zucchini yourself?
We basically split the zucchini.
Hold on, I need to find a picture. I don't have it. I don't have it up. But you mentioned zucchini. Last winter, we
you guys planted stuff, didn't you?
Yeah. So well, before we planted stuff last winter, fall we bought a pumpkin as people do.
Oh yeah, your pumpkin patch.
And yeah, and so I found out why we had this pumpkin grow, and it's because before the pumpkin that we had rotted, it froze, and we had it like in like a compost area, whatever, and then it started growing, and we got 4 and a little pumpkin. If you can see that
out of the pumpkin that froze.
Yeah, out of the pumpkin that
it turned off.
out of last season's pumpkin, and that biggest one is
a couple nice ones.
Yeah, the biggest one is 19 pounds.
Damn.
Yeah, it's great. So I want to grow like 30 more plants next week.
Or are you just gonna have them there?
I don't know. We might make pumpkin pie. I definitely want to grow more next year, and because now we have the greenhouse, I'm like plant some seeds, start them in the winter, so they have more time to grow.
You can get massive pumpkins.
Oh my god, yeah! But
one of those the one kinds that you take to like state fairs and get a blue ribbon. So
yeah, oh my god!
You know what else gets a blue ribbon?
An Indie News Injection.
Are you bored with the same old games?
Yeah.
Why, then give yourself an Indie News Injection.
Thanks, Indie Games.
This week, starting out, Indie News Injection. You might remember a few months ago, a company by the name of Digital Homicide, who also went by ECC Games, or Every Click Counts, sued or tried to sue Jim Sterling, who is a big
Did that
YouTube.
turn out already?
I don't know. I don't know if they dropped it or if it never came
should
about.
Drop it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't, and I'm not. I mean, they should morally, because what the fuck. But as many frivolous lawsuits that happen, I can imagine. Like, in my head, I'm like, there's no way they could win. But at the same time, sometimes the fucking U.S. justice system is retarded. And I'm sorry for using that word if you're offended, but sometimes it is just stupid.
We're using it to describe the justice system. It's fine. So, Digital Homicide, I'm just going to call them Digital Homicide because that's way easier than saying ECC Games.
Yeah.
Is suing 100 Steam reviewers, and they don't
100?
even have... I don't know. But they don't even have the real names of the Steam reviewers. They only have the usernames.
How'd they serve them, then?
Well, they haven't served them yet. They have filed...
I guess they could subpoena Steam for the information.
They have subpoenaed Steam for the information, but they haven't seen it yet. Some usernames that are out there, and I think I can talk about these because you can change your username whenever you want. Demon Sword, or Nathos, or Carl Pilkington from the Ricky Gervais podcast. That one's gonna be. And then John/Jane Doe's 12 through 100 are the defendants. They filed this on September 12th, 2016. There are records that are public that you can look into them. They've got all of the...
in case anyone's interested, I'll post it.
They have all these images
in a live chat.
Do you want me to... I'm just gonna link it. Why not? Perfect.
Yeah.
Those are all of the court documents. James Oliver Romine Jr. is absolutely fucking crazy. Not only that, if you search his name in Google, because I was like, what is the name of their game company now? And I searched it, and all I can find are other lawsuits. It's almost to the point where I'm looking at these and I'm like, is this just a way that they can launder money?
Well, they're sure as hell not making money off of their games.
Because it's like they're not making money. They're not making any money on games.
If you don't know, by the way, if you don't know, Digital Homicide is notorious for what people consider to be shovelware.
Yeah.
And that's what the whole Jim Sterling thing started off, because Jim Sterling covers a lot of shovelware because it's funny to tear them apart, I guess.
Yeah.
Which, whatever, to each their own. But they, I don't think, consider it shovelware, which is why they're pissed. or they're just fucking cons. I don't know. Allegedly, excuse me. So don't sue us.
I'm trying to find any of their games. I guess I can't.
They actually took.
Don't go to their website.
No, they actually. If you go to Rami's Twitter, which is where I found this before I saw you put it in notes already. He actually posted a screenshot of all of their games that they have actually been removed from Steam. All of their games.
Wow. It's weird. I found their website earlier when I was hanging out with Jesse, and it's horrible. They have one of those like stock photos of a what looks to be a blonde stripper in like partial football gear holding a football, and it's like that picture, all saying Digital Homicide on them, or ECC Games. I don't know anymore, and it's like, what?
Yeah,
and they're suing 100 people, Steam reviewers, and I mean, obviously nothing's gonna happen.
The whole thing is just so ridiculous, but the fact, I mean, it hasn't actually gone to court yet, right?
No.
So
It was filed. They paid the filing fee. They just spent $400.
That's why I feel like they're just wasting money, because I feel like this is going to get thrown out as soon as the judge sees this. Like, are you kidding me? Just get out of my court.
It's obviously it's kind of fun. Maybe they're just doing it to stay in the spotlight.
And maybe that's true.
But why?
Any I cannot think of words tonight. Like, any promotion is a good promotion, bad or good, right?
Yeah, except it's not when you don't have anything that you can buy from them.
Well, there's always their reputation of future games, right? Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Well, speaking of reputation of future games, turns out that Edmund McMillan, the developer of Super Meat Boy and
Binding of Isaac.
Thank you, Binding of Isaac. Man, they have a new game coming out, which is very time for cucky.
Yes.
And if you don't know what that is, that's a free game that he created on Newgrounds. It was an excellent puzzle game, by the way. I love it. But it looks like that game, to be honest, but they're calling it, hopefully I can pronounce it right, Ouroboros.
Ouroboros, yeah.
Ouroboros.
Boros, you were right the first time. I fucked it up.
There you go. So that's something to be excited about if you're a fan of his games. I am a fan of all games except for Binding of Isaac, but it's not because the game's bad, it's just because I suck. I suck. I can't handle it. I'm not very good at those games, and I'm just like, you know what? I can't play it.
Yes.
But Super Meat Boy, also incredibly hard, but that's a different kind of hard in my mind, to be honest. So.
Yeah, it's a more twitchy kind of hard, whereas Binding of Isaac is a learn the mechanics and also play enough so that you can unlock the things that you need to finish the game with.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah.
Well, it's a roguelike. What do you expect?
Yeah.
So,
but it's a roguelike that you can't beat in the first sitting.
Is there any other information that you found out about Ouroboros, or just the name, pretty much?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
That's truly that's new, and that's what it is. So I'm like, I figured, he's one of those original big indies that paved the way for the modern indie scene. Why not?
I still want to start that Indie Game Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And he would definitely go in that.
Of course.
He's one of the I don't know if I would say pioneers, because indie games have technically been around for a long time.
I think he
but he's one of the people that really was like indie games.
Yeah, he pushed the modern envelope. He played the system the right way. He got his game on Xbox,
right.
And I think the rest sort of pulled
between
everything.
him and Behemoth and Jonathan Blow, I think.
Yeah,
people like that. So,
definitely.
All right, well, that will bring us to our discussion point, which is Steam reviews. Yes. Not too long ago, they actually changed up Steam reviews to where they actually have most recent reviews, which was a really excellent change, actually, because For instance, we didn't cover it on the show, but we were thinking about it until it basically bombed. Was a game called Slain, and he popped up in our chat one day. That's how we found out about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like the animation and the art in it was fantastic.
Oh yeah, Slain Back to Hell. I remember that.
Well, it's not. It was just called Slain, and then it bombed
really?
because the mechanics in it were so jacked up.
And
And then basically he was like, "Oh shit!" Him and I guess whoever was helping, they fixed it and re-released it as Slain Back to Hell,
which apparently has very good recent reviews.
Yeah, and since that, so this is where that whole recent reviews change helped, because that was one game that was just going to be hidden for forever until he re-released the game. And those recent reviews are like, whoa, because you can still see that it was mixed, but most recent reviews are very positive because he made all these changes. So people are like, oh, well, he must have fixed it. So now I'm more confident in buying it, and therefore it helps devs. So along comes another change not too long later, who you might have heard of, where they are basically getting rid of, or not getting rid of, but they introduced a filter to the reviews, and it defaults to not show people who have gotten review keys and the free keys. And the whole point of this was to crack down on the whole incentive-based free key thing. Like give me a good review on Steam to help push me to the top, and I'll give you a free game. Because that's bullshit. It's not really fair.
Yeah,
it's cheating.
Of course.
It's working the system, and so it's cool that they're cracking down on this. The problem is a lot of people are saying that, well, that's not everyone is doing that, you know what I mean? And you're taking out a chunk of positive reviews, possible positive reviews for games who weren't doing that. It's just that they were good games, and people were like, hey, this is good games. Thanks for the free key. You didn't tell me I need to put a good review, but I did. So that's where the whole divisiveness comes in for that.
Well, here's another thing, too. Any game that was crowdfunded, and anybody who backed the game on Kickstarter or Indiegogo or anywhere who has a key from that, their reviews don't matter. Anyone who bought the game directly from the publisher or developer on their website doesn't matter. Anybody who bought the game off of Humble, their code doesn't matter. And all of a sudden, Steam has sort of created an environment where either you make sure that all of your people buy the game through Steam so we can take our 40% or whatever it is from your sales, or their reviews don't count, which is that's really what it is, and that's why it kind of pisses me off, really, because that is a problem. Because there was a developer, I can't remember where I saw it. I was looking into it, and there was a developer who's like, yeah, most of my game sales are through my website, and they're direct purchases, so I can keep more of the money than through Steam. And now all of the reviews that those people have written are invalidated. My game looks like shit on Steam, and I'm going out of business, essentially. And it's like that's an extreme sense, but yes, there are good things about this, but there are also Steam is hurting.
Maybe it comes down to, first of all, it comes down to what size developer you are, like how successful your game is initially,
right?
Mm-hmm. And also it comes down to which is the lesser evil, because part of the same thing with Greenlight, where people just basically free keys for good Greenlight votes, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. So it's kind of helping clean up Steam. People bitch about this kind of stuff on Steam and how it's getting flooded with bullshit, and it's getting flooded with bullshit for these kinds of reasons. But then when they do something to fix it, now you're complaining. But at the same time, and I was telling someone earlier, I forget if you were here or not, about, I think it was PC Mag or PC Gamer, I forget which one, talked to a whole bunch of devs, Jay Tholen included, and bigger devs as well.
Okay.
But they were all fairly successful devs.
Right.
What they thought about this. And the vast majority of them, if not all of them, because I didn't read every single one, because they actually talked to a bunch of them, said that they were fine with it, because even if you take out the reviews from the people that got free keys from them, like I forget who it was, but someone had Project Zomboid, we featured a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They have like 200,000 reviews, and they've been out for a while. They've been, because they're going through early access, they've been out for a long time.
Yeah.
But they had a bunch of reviews from people on Desura, because they originally released on Desura before moving to Steam, and Desura shut down for one, but they gave all the Desura people Steam keys. I'm one of them, actually. So those people's reviews no longer counted, because they were counted as free Steam keys since they didn't buy them on Steam. But it was only like 200. So 200 out of 200,000 is like 1%, right, and does not affect them at all. Mm-hmm. And this is true for most, not everyone has 200,000 reviews, but it's
like, I was just looking at because you mentioned it, Slain Back from Hell. If you look on their Steam page, they have 603 reviews. Of those reviews, only 133 are key activations. It's weird.
It's a little bit more of a chunk, because that's, what's that, like, that's
out of 603, that's 1/6. That's 1/6. Yeah, no, that's not 6%. That's 1/6 or
16%.
16%. I don't know math.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
But the point is like, for these fairly successful devs, it doesn't really affect them that much. It's the smaller devs that get like 20 reviews, 30 reviews,
right? Exactly.
Where that hurts, because even if it's a really good game, and they deserve those positive reviews, let's be honest, not all good games get the attention they deserve. Hence, some of the reason why we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
Although we cover bigger games too, because they deserve to just as much. But the point is that it really depends on your point of view, and to be honest, Steam needs to be fixed and cleaned up. And I think it's kind of a growing pain, and it sucks for people in that position. Mm-hmm. But for the future, moving on, people are going to know now what to expect. You know what I mean?
And I mean, like, you also have to consider that Steam is. It was sort of the first. It really was the first thing to do what it's doing.
Peter's mentioning, like, now devs won't give free keys or sell on Humble. Yes, they will, because, the point of giving free keys is not those reviews anyway. The point of giving them is for people like us to talk about them on our show, or write them on the website or something like that. It's that, or play them on YouTube. And also on Humble, they will, because they're getting 90% of the cut on Humble as opposed to 60% on Steam.
I don't think I've ever looked at a game that I was sort of interested in, looked at the fact that it's like, oh, mixed reviews, and just been like, I don't care then. If this game has mixed reviews, I don't want to buy it. I've always been like, mixed reviews. Why is it mixed? Is it recent? And you check it and you're like, all right, that's a joke review. That doesn't matter. What about joke reviews?
Well, sometimes people are just fucking stupid.
I know.
And it's not even about joke reviews. It's just like, this game sucks. Like, really? Like, why don't you just keep your mouth shut unless you have something like legitimate to say?
Mm-hmm.
But I look at the reviews, like when it says mixed, that does give me hesitation.
Yeah, but usually it makes me like check like, why is it mixed? Yeah. I will say the Steam Spy chart on it. I didn't look through it a lot, but a lot of games that got hit by this very hard are like really under the radar games that I haven't.
Bet a majority of those. Like I said, there are games that get very little reviews that are legitimately good, but I bet a majority of them are the digital homicides of the Steam community.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Like I said, it sucks. Like, I sympathize for the people that are getting affected that deserve more exposure. But in the long run, when talking about the whole community, I have to say that, it's kind of collateral damage for the good of the whole.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well,
It sounds insensitive.
I will say that it isn't as bad. I feel like it isn't as bad as some people are saying, because they do have the big thing where it's like, hey, some of these are key activation reviews, some of these are Steam reviews. You on your own can decide if the key activation reviews are worth it and good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like not paid, sort of like right now I just clicked on the key activation reviews for Slain, and it's like, all right, cool. So the most recent review for that, oh yeah, they have 4.5 hours or 15 hours, and then a few people played it for a few hours, but it's like they're real reviews.
I think maybe could be a better way of doing it, is having those key activations and stuff like that, and only letting them review based on the hours they play, maybe. Yeah. Although I guess it sucks because for some games,
what if it's like a 30-minute game and it costs 99 cents?
Yeah,
like that.
True. It's hard.
Yeah.
I don't blame Steam as much as other people are,
exactly.
But at the same time, I do sympathize for.
You know what? I think that we should wait at least a few months and wait until nobody remembers it. Wait until this feature has become relatively normal and nobody's freaking out, and then come back and be like, okay, what does this look like now, and how much of an effect has this had? Because I bet it might have an effect on some, but as a whole, I don't know if it will really make a difference. Maybe it will. Maybe it'll cause.
I'm calling it right now. It's just growing pains. Everyone will get over it and it'll be done.
Yep.
And then everyone will be.
I think genuinely the smartest thing that Steam could do right now is pretend to listen to people and just say, like, we're listening, and then not roll anything out for 6 months, and then by that time, everyone will forget.
Yeah. But you know what people won't forget about?
People won't forget about the crazy game that we're going to be talking about next in Starting the Riot.
Oh, yeah. This week on Starting the Riot, we are talking about a game. I feel like we're alternating between Devolver games and Tiny Build games for like the past month. Because this is yet another Devolver game that we're covering. But hey, they have really good taste in games. So as long as they keep bringing good games, we'll keep talking about them. This one is called Mother Russia Bleeds. Mother Russia Bleeds is actually a like a 2D beat 'em up brawler type of thing. So in the same vein as, like, remember those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time and Golden Axe and those kinds of games. So it's in that kind of a mechanic. You can play 1 to 4 players. Local, yeah. Takes place in like an alternate timeline of the USSR. And you play as this guy who's imprisoned. He's like got a really bad drug addiction, and he's trying to break free, obviously. So it's really, in Devolver, even though Devolver doesn't have like a hand in really making these games, they tend to pick like the same kind of feel to it, and these like weird psychedelic, brutal, gory, like you can see just in the gameplay right now, just some of the weird shit that's going on. Like, what the hell is that thing in the background?
Zombies.
Yeah, it's a giant.
It's Russia. You can't.
It's a giant gator bear connected to.
You know what that looks like? That looks like there was like a Russian experiment where they tried to keep like the head of a dog alive outside of a body, and they sort of did that or something.
Man, was that a real life thing?
Yeah, it was really unethical and horrible.
Yeah, I would imagine.
It's got a same look to that. It's Russia. You could do a lot of
technically, though, that is
stuff.
possible, because I mean, it's like the same kind of thing where
theoretically, yeah.
I mean, in the hospital when you're on life support, nothing technically, your organs aren't working except for your brain, right?
Right, totally.
So,
it's theoretically possible.
Yeah,
but I mean, this game is not for kids. You see, it is for men and women. But
I was gonna share this with my 4-year-old.
Yeah, really, really cool. I like how
It's cool.
It is sort of colorful in a way, but not like in a way that is
not like
as common.
Candyland Fun Time.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of like Punch Club. You know how Punch Club sort of had a different feel, even though the style was somewhat
colorful.
Similar?
It's colorful in the way that piss is colorful. Like it's bright yellow, but it's still piss.
It's sort of Russia colored, really. I feel like they really.
You're saying Russia is colored like piss?
No, not piss.
You hear that, Putin?
You know, like when you look at a picture of, like Hong Kong or something, or you look at a picture of like one of those really like differently polluted areas, and it really sticks out.
Think of this like nightlife in a big city where it's pretty seedy and shady, but it's still bright and colorful because of all the neon signs and shit.
Yeah, totally.
It's kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And technically speaking, there are scenes in this that take place at nightclubs and shit like that. So
right, exactly. You could pick this. Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's some weird shit in this game. So just looking at some of the screenshots, I mean, you're seeing it now, the pigs. But there's like that mutant that you saw in the cage. I think you fight it at some point, according to one of these screenshots. There's a guy sitting on a throne made out of entrails. I think. There's a fight scene where people are surrounding you with pig masks on and banana hammocks, polka dot banana hammocks.
I swear I've seen this. We were talking before we covered
I've been keeping my eye on this for a while, so it's possible we mentioned it.
We must have either mentioned it like in passing or covered it for something, because I've definitely seen something.
I like the varied attacks in this. So it's not just like in a lot of the beat 'em ups from the good old days, they had varied attacks, but it was like 3. You know what I mean? And it's still pretty standard. Like, you go through, fight the things, and the most difference you would see in like the enemies would be like in boss battles, for the most part. And otherwise, there would be like like 3 different levels of bad guys that you'd have to fight. This one, you got all kind. I mean, you're dealing with a pig that actually beats you up and the enemies up. Some enemies are melee. There's another you saw earlier. The one guy was like throwing potions at you.
And then not only that, but when you pick up different weapons, they have different attacks. Yeah. So like when you had the knife, you were like, stab the guy in the gut, stab the guy in the face. Now he's dead. Whereas like you have the fire extinguisher. All of a sudden, it's just like I can whack you with this thing or like throw it and really screw a lot of people up. Like it's there's enough variety to make this retro styled beat 'em up into a very like modern feeling, modern looking game that is like unique in that way.
It's I saw like there's a review I saw someone I think it was PC Gamer, but they said it's like a side scrolling beat 'em up with like infused with Hotline Miami, like with that whole fucked up psychedelic style.
Totally.
The pixelated weird shit, yeah.
Yeah, so you can pick this game up for $14.99 on Steam. You can also get it on GOG and Humble if you want. Just for Windows, Mac, and Steam Play, or $25 gets you an extra copy of the game, the digital soundtrack, and the Behind the Schemes mini documentary as well. That's some pretty good value for $25. It's more than just a soundtrack. It's a bunch of other stuff.
I don't think we mentioned it. The game is made by Le Cartel.
Le Cartel. And it is single player or local multiplayer or local co-op. It is split screen. They don't have servers running. I bet you might be able to. I don't think you can. It just might not be in the system at all. But it'd be cool. Yeah, you might be able to land, but if you can get it to work and really get into it. Top review, better than No Man's Sky. There you go.
Well, that's all you need to know, I guess.
That's all you need to know. Is there anything else that we do need to know about Mother Russia Bleeds?
You need to know that you really need to purchase it for yourself and all your friends.
I feel like this is one of the most indie news injection-y games of starting the Riot that we've done.
What?
Because it's like you got the drugs and everything.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It feels like it should be in the indie news injection side because of the title, but
this the game actually is a good bridge. Yeah, it's like a good bridge between all of our segments, because it goes from indie news injection because of the drugs to starting a Riot because you're fucking fighting mobs, and into Peep Show because you probably make your way into a strip club at some point.
Yeah, speaking of Peep Show.
Speaking of Peep Show.
Let's go there.
Do the peep show.
Time for the peep show.
Please give all your attention to Early Access.
This week on Peep Show, we have a Kickstarter from Jay Tholen. You might remember Jay Tholen from doing the talk at IRX, or the interview with Indie Game Riot, or the guy who made Dropsy. Yeah, or the other interview with on Indie Game Riot, or the game Dropsy that he made, which everybody loved.
Or from us riding his dick.
Exactly. Best podcast that Jay Tholen has ever been on, Indie Game Riot 2014.
He's an excellent programmer and
he's
excellent
great.
dev, excellent musician, excellent pixel artist. So we celebrate amazing talent, and that's why we ride that dick.
Yes. And let me tell you, HypnoSpace Outlaw looks pretty freaking cool.
Well, at first glance, you're like, "What the fuck is this?" if you didn't know Jay Tholen.
Well,
you know what I mean?
what's really cool is when I first looked at this, I didn't know that it was Jay. I immediately clicked it and I went right to the video, and I was like, "Click it, video," and I watched the whole video, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm liking this. This has a familiar yet different feel. It's got a sort of a vaporwave vibe to it. Not the music, the look." And then it's like Jay Tholen, and I'm like, of course that dude made this game. You listen to the music and it's just oozing Jay Tholen.
You can tell just by the colors themselves, man. He wears shirts this color.
Yeah, he does.
All these colors on the shirt.
It's so cool. So for those of you who are not, I don't know if we're showing video of this. We are. For those of you who are at home who are not able to see this, you basically are interacting with an operating system on a computer, and this operating system lets you go through HypnoSpace, I think it's probably called, and the HypnoSpace Highway, and feed adorable pets, and protect the operating system, and police the internet of the future.
I've always wanted a winged hamster.
Yeah, exactly. It's so neat, and it's got those. You remember the weird 3D GIFs of 12 years ago?
No.
The weird 3D GIFs that were like strange and like dithered like they are here, Okay. They were like 256 colored.
Right. I think I know what you're talking about, and they were like kind of Uncanny Valley type.
Oh, way Uncanny Valley.
Yeah.
This really has a feel like that. It's so funny because it's supposed to be the internet of tomorrow, but it really feels like the 90s. Russian internet of yesterday. Which, it's sort of the Orwellian internet of yesterday, because you do have to go in and look at chat logs and blog posts and deal with ads and viruses, and you also have money to spend on your vehicle to police the HypnoSpace Highway. It's very, very neat. It's sort of like if Technobabylon was about the real life cops in a dystopic future. This is if you were a regular citizen on a computer in Technobabylon trying to stop people from thought crimes and normal everyday things. He's looking for $28,000. He's already gotten $14,700 as of the recording of this video. Anywhere from $1, which gets your name which gets you the name in the credits. $10, you can't use that one anymore. $12 gets you a digital copy of the game and your name in the credits. All the way up to, if you really, oh wow, somebody's already paid $1,500 for this, by the way.
Yes, I saw he tweeted that someone picked the highest one already. It was like pretty early on. So he's already halfway there.
Yeah, so if you have $500, you can get the HypnoSpace App Developer perk, which is all of the digital and physical rewards before this. The team will work with you to create a small, simple in-game game or application. The app must not directly reference real properties or people, obviously, and you'll be in the credits as HypnoSpace App Developer, which is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Because sort of doing what Tim Donnelly is doing with all the mini games, but with different applications. And it's an actual operating system, so you can drag the applications on the desktop, and it'll like interact with you. The HypnoSpace police force or whatever.
I think that whole police force thing is what intrigues me the most, because there's a lot of games coming out now that kind of going towards that whole Big Brother type vibe, where you're in the place of the Big Brother, which is probably because that's the world today now, pretty much. Thank you, 1984. But it's intriguing because it's that plus the craziness that Jay brings to this. And what's funny though is that there's craziness to this, but sometimes I feel like Jay doesn't actually mean it to be that way. I think this is just him being him. And and by the way, if you don't know Jay, or haven't played Dropsy, go play it. By the way, his big thing is making games that are, non-violent, not really violent games, but happy games. That's what he's saying. So there isn't his games have an undertone. Obviously, there has to be conflict and things like that, but the whole it's not a downer. Yeah, the whole concept of his games always seem to revolve around joy and happiness. Yeah. And kind of overcoming bad things and to be happier, that sort of thing. So, which is always a cool perspective, because a lot of games are the opposite. They revolve around violence and scandal and things like that aren't necessarily positive. Either way, light things are nice. Yeah. Let me tell you, HypnoSpace is great. Listen to the song at the end of the video. It got stuck in my head. Oh, seriously, it's like no, for real. Like the music in this, A+, top notch. By the soundtrack right now. Do you want me to play it? Yeah, play it for the people. Hold on, let me. Yeah, do it. I'll tell you where to start it. I'm sure Jay won't mind. Yeah, start at like the 2-minute mark. Yeah, I got it. The 2-minute mark. We'll play the same. Just shut off. Classic Jay. So, that's he's an interesting person, incredibly nice. Definitely go support Jay. Definitely check it out. Get this game funded, because we need more Jay in our lives. Oh, and let me tell you too, I showed this game to Jesse, and Jesse was like, I am actually really excited for this game. This is one of those games that really sticks out to me. And she's not really big into games. Like, she's into older games that she grew up with. I like how that's your measure of how intriguing a game is as if Jesse gets into it. Because you always there's certain games you always say that and it's good because Jesse thinks it's good. Yeah, exactly. Because if Jesse could like it, then you know that it meets a certain caliber of interesting, for real. So HypnoSpace Outlaw for Mac, PC, and Linux, from the creator of Dropsy, Jay Tholen, on Kickstarter right now. Go check it out. Yeah. You know what else you should check out? You should check out Going Mobile. I was gonna be like, what should I say? Can't think of anything. We're recording. We're fucked. Oh. This week on Going Mobile, we have a game that will bring out the inner Clue lover in you, called A Matter of Murder. Matter of Murder, like I said, at first glance looks like a mobile version of Clue to me. However, there's much, much more to it. First of all, it's procedurally generated, so it's not the same map over and over, although the one that you were just looking at did actually look a lot like Clue. But it's procedurally generated, so it's got infinite replayability because of that. Of course, the aesthetic is much, much different with the whole hand-drawn aspect to it, and there's a stylized type of thing with the characters and the backgrounds and things like that. You can actually investigate the surroundings for clues. There's logic puzzles that you have to solve within the game, so it's not just, like I said, it's not just deduction. there's little mini games and puzzles and things like that you have to put into it. There's actually a campaign mode, so it's not. You can do the one-offs, but the campaign mode will take you through like a linear set of puzzles and things like that you have to go through to figure out who killed who and where and with what. So that part's like Clue, obviously, but that's about it. That's similar to Clue. Of course, there's actually randomly implemented plot-altering elements that can change the entire course of the story that you go through each time. So again, infinite replayability with all on top of the procedurally generated, map and content and stuff like that in there. And yeah, the soundtrack's very cool too.
Yeah, $2.99 on the App Store, Google Play, or Indie Game Stand.
Yeah.
It is by Worthing and Moncrief. I think I'm yes.
Worthing and Moncrief. Very. I don't know if all their games are like this, but it seems like everything they do is in like a very like proper Victorian British.
Yeah.
Like. Yes.
I'm actually checking their website now.
Cheers.
Currently, they only have A Matter of Murder available.
Is that the only one available? I thought there were more.
They are working on a game called The Eerie Apartment.
Ooh, keep an eye on
the
that.
dating game. The Jane Austen meets the dating game in this riff on caustic liberty rivalries.
Actually, sounds interesting.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
keeping my eye on that one.
Yeah, definitely. So definitely a lot of cool stuff in the pipeline. If you're itching for that new Clue experience or that mystery experience, which I think a lot of people have, definitely check out A Matter of Murder.
Yes, I do say.
Stabbity stab, my good man.
You know what else I do say?
Anyway.
Do you know what else I say?
What else do you say?
It's the end of the show.
It is the end of the show, my good boy.
The end of the show, yes.
The strangest in the show, yes, we will.
Shall we talk like this for the rest of the show?
We shall talk like this for the rest of the show.
You just devolved into this. I guess we shall talk like this.
You gotta imagine you have a big nose. We won't do that. I can't even understand what I'm saying.
Good talker.
Yes.
So anyway,
You have
end
to
of the
talk
show.
like you're trying to keep your back straight at all times.
What shall we? Yes.
Yeah.
Like you have books on your head. Good posture.
If you want more Indie Game Riot, I don't know how you do it. I haven't done the outro.
What gives you really good posture is donating to our Patreon. If you like what we do and you want us to continue to grow, then please go to patreon.com/IndieGameRiot. $1 or more really helps.
Yes, and it helps the website grow. Speaking of website, IndieGameRiot.com. You should definitely check it out for your local news and keeping up to date with the indie games.
You sound like a British guy doing an impersonation of an American radio announcer.
Yeah.
Just doing an impersonation of a British guy. Yes. Well, of course, the other ways that you can help us is by contacting us. You can go to hitbox.com/JaShinYa every week, Friday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and just chat with us directly in the chat. I told you I would talk like this for the rest of the show.
Yes.
Now you sound like Tom Brokaw or like Rush or Ed McMahon.
I'm telling my inner pooch dog. I do say, my good man.
Otherwise, you can go to Twitter at IGR Podcast or Facebook.com/IGR Podcast. And of course, you can just email us. Good old-fashioned, old-time email. And contact@IndieGameRiot.com shall be the email you send your email to. And of course, all this and more is on IndieGameRiot.com. Any last words?
Did I mention we had a Reddit?
Now you sound like a TV announcer. And did I mention we have a Reddit?
Let me tell you, Indie Game Riot brand soap, the best soap you ever did here. But don't take my word for it.
Your accents just go like. Yeah, at least you have this common theme of old timey, but it just goes from like over here to the other side of the spectrum.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going through the generations of an immigrant moving from the UK into America.
The end of the show, you got to end up. The end of the show, you got to talk like a Valley girl. There you go.
I'll see you next time, everybody.
Is that your last words?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Alright, folks. Oh, is it my turn now?
It is yours.
Toodles. Toodles. Or oh my god, Toodles.